Hey everyone, I'm here at TriggrCon 2018, unarmed once again because they lied to me after last year, but it is what it is. I am here once again with Albert from Strike Industries. You guys probably recognize this handsome man from my video with him at SHOT Show. Unfortunately, once again, even though I want this to be a short video, you guys always have a ton of new stuff, so we'll try to make this as quick as possible, but it is what it is. Albert, we have some Glocks here on the table. Let's start with these Glocks. Tell us about your little baby here.
Yeah, let's hit the ground running. I mean, this is a little cool project of mine right here. Right there. This is the Argus slide. So right now it's going to be made for Gen 3 Glocks. It'll be coming out in 17 first and then 19. So what this is going to have is the ability to mount multiple reflex optics onto one surface. You're not going to need any adapter plates or any additional hardware. All of the mounting patterns are pre-drilled into the slide already, so it's going to be an easy installation. So we went through a list of some of the most popular and recommended optics to mount on slides. So it's going to accept, as you can see here, a TriggrCon RMR, a Vortex Viper, Vortex Razor, a Loophole Delta Point, and a Holosun 507C even. I'm sure I'm missing a couple more, but just off the top of my head, those are the most popular ones.
It's going to have a cover plate too if you don't want to run an optic, right?
Of course, it's going to have a cover plate if you don't have a reflex optic or you don't want to run one. And as you can see here, it features porting on the sides, 4 of them to reduce weight, to kind of get rid of that little bit of recoil when you're shooting it. Range day yesterday went really well. A lot of people exclaimed, wow, that's really light when I was shooting it. That was really easy. So we had a lot of good, positive feedback from range day yesterday.
Yeah, I got a chance to shoot it on the range, and I enjoyed it. I know that ports are really popular with like those 3-gunners out there, but I know I would maybe like to see in the future a non-ported version, just for like the front sight serrations, because it's really aesthetically pleasing right now, which is not a surprise for anything from you guys.
Yeah.
But it felt really good. The optic felt like it was in the right spot, so like the optic cut felt good. You guys know I don't do a whole lot of that. I'm hoping to soon. Just waiting on an optic from somebody. But I know it's really, really popular for people to run those even on their carry guns.
Yeah.
So really good to see that. And do you know when those are going to be hitting the market?
So I just got these in for testing about a week ago.
Okay.
And everything is looking really good. We're going to have to do some minor cutting just to buff out those fine details for certain things. But we're off to a really good start, and I can see it. Testing is done within a month from now, and then production and shipment should probably take no more than 3 months. So 4 months total from this time. And I'm glad you mentioned slides. You did mention like the non-porting also. So that's one of the things I'm trying to push through Strike Industries is getting a slide option with no porting and more aggressive serrations on the front, top, and along the radius as well. So me personally, I'm into that, but this one is just beautiful. It works, it's functional, and you can bet that it's going to be affordable too.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you already mentioned this, but I have a terrible short-term memory. Glock factory sights are compatible, or I should say Glock pattern sights are compatible with this, so
yes.
The aftermarket is plentiful. You don't have to worry about finding a company that makes Glock sights, because any company that makes pistol sights is making Glocks. And you said Gen 3, 17 and 19. Any plans to go into any like Smith & Wesson or SIG or anything like that in the future?
Yeah, right now I know we're in the talks for M&P 9 and 40.
Okay.
So that's something that we're considering as well.
Awesome.
Other than that, nothing else.
Yeah. I got to say something real quick. Got to get up on my soapbox here. Gen 3 guys have all the luck. Everything new that comes out always comes out for Gen 3 first. As a Gen 4 guy, I want my stuff too. So, I get it though. So hopefully when the Gen 4 stuff comes out, I'll get my turn, but it is what it is. But anything else on this thing that you wanted to point out?
Yeah, of course. So if you guys look closely here, you can see a new set of sights. So we have our Glock blade sights mounted on our Argus slide. So it's going to come with 4 different inserts. It's going to have translucent yellow, translucent red, matte black, and matte white. So you can probably see here, and they'll show you probably in a close-up too, how bright it shines indoors and outdoors during range day. It was just illuminated
Yeah.
so well.
Picked up great. And
Yeah.
especially because we were under an overhang. Now, granted, it was still really bright outside, so there was a good amount of light, but going from a shadowed overhang to a really sunlit target, I had no problem picking up the sights whatsoever, which is obviously what you want.
Yep. So moving down, we have our upcoming Glock trigger right here. It's the Glock Improved Flat Trigger. It's going to be just offered as the trigger shoe, so you're going to have to supply your own trigger bar, and those can be found pretty much anywhere.
For cheap.
Yep. So we want to give users the option to customize, their internals as much as possible, and this is going to be coming around a price point of only $40 for a solid billet aluminum flat face trigger. So at the wall, it's going to hit about 90 degrees at the break.
Now, what colors are those going to be coming in? Obviously, the traditional strike colors. You got the red, the blues, the blacks.
And the FDE.
And
so
the FDE.
Everything he mentioned plus FDE for the triggers, for sure.
And I have to say, so I shot some of these out at range day, and you said it was a Glock factory trigger bar and a Glock
minus connector.
Yeah. And it felt good. Now, everything was polished up, but it felt pretty darn good. And one of the things that I like about these is it still has that trigger safety, so you're not compromising the safety with this trigger, correct?
Oh yeah, you're not.
So you don't have to worry about some of those NDs that you see with other fancy triggers out there.
Right.
You're still maintaining the safety, just giving it a little bit nicer feel, and having that little flat face, which I know is popular with a lot of people, myself included.
All right. Yeah. So I think we're good on that one.
Okay. Now we have a Glock Gen 3 once again. I do what I can for you guys, but it is what it is. So what do we got here?
Okay, so the highlight of this build, as you can probably guess, is the compensator at the end. And no, this is not on the barrel. This is actually guide rod mounted right here. See, I'm pulling this apart right here. So we had this at the range day yesterday, and I will say that it was the most popular item at our booth. Yeah. We got guys like Milspec Mojo coming in, shooting it. He shot one mag through it, and it ended so quick I had to throw him 2 more mags. And he was just like, wow, it's so flat. He could not stop exclaiming how well it worked.
Yeah.
So it's going to be offered, like Brian said, for Gen 3 Glocks first, and then we're actually thinking of using the same installation method for the Gen 4 Glocks soon after, because all it takes is one adapter plate.
Yeah.
Because we can come out with a different guide rod for the Gen 4s also. But doing Gen 4s would be fairly easy, and we could do it really soon following the Gen 3s.
Yeah. There's a ton of videos on the older version of the Compensator, and you guys can see how super simple the installation is. It's pretty crazy, and it works really well, because again, traditionally you see them attached to the barrel, or you see like the compensated barrels with the ported slides and all that from Glock. This super easy to install. If you don't like it, you can take it off real easy without any permanent modifications.
Yeah.
And you guys specifically contoured this one, as you said, to work with an open front holster.
Open bottom holster.
Open bottom holster.
And another benefit is you don't have to buy a threaded barrel. And if you're kind of iffy on the compensated Glock or compensated handgun market, this would be a great option to try out before investing a lot of your money.
Yeah, and I hadn't shot one of their compensators until I shot this one yesterday. I was doing a live stream with a couple of my patrons, and Eric, you know who you are, he had told me, man, I shot one of those, and it blows everything else out of the water, and it felt like I was shooting a 22. And I was like, I'll believe it when I see it, and it feels really good. It keeps it really flat.
Yeah, he's not exaggerating when he says that.
Yeah, and again, it was really bright out, so it's hard to gauge any like flash or anything like that, but I had no issue with that. I know that's a concern with a lot of people with compensators on their pistols. I didn't experience that. Again, it was bright daylight, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
And lastly, it has the red version of the flat trigger, as you can see here.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we got a ton of other stuff in this little display case that you might be seeing our faces illuminated by, but you can't see. So what's some of the stuff you want to highlight in here?
Yeah. Okay. So we are also going to be releasing a Glock magazine extension. So this is going to be for the 9mm and 40 cal magazines. Right now I have it on a Glock 17 9mm. It's going to be +6 9mm and +5 40 cal. The whole body is polymer constructed, very durable, very rigid, and you can bet that's going to be super affordable than what's on the market today. So we've been testing this for a while. I've been testing different versions. I just want to make sure it is absolutely reliable. And I cannot stress enough how many drop tests I've done. Fully loaded, partially loaded, empty. I'm really looking forward to this one, and I think you guys will really enjoy this.
Those of you with your +2 or +4 base plates for your 9mm Glocks, those are rookie numbers. You got to bump those numbers up. Get a +6. Up. Now, so these will fit on Glock factory mags. Were they going to fit on Magpul mags or ETS mags or anything like that?
That's still yet to be determined, but I can see them probably fitting those magazines as well. Okay. We're going to focus on just OEM ones too.
It's a safe place to start.
Yeah. That's all I'll say for now on
Absolutely.
That one.
Okay. Yeah. Unless they come out with a different version, I don't know if they would fit on the Magpul mags, just because they have a slightly different base plate. But I think the ETS mags are pretty similar to the regular Glock.
I know ETS ones are very similar too, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see that, because I have one of the base plate extensions for my Glock 43. And I ran the piss out of that to make sure that was going to be reliable, and I was very happy to say it was. So I can assume, I'm going to assume, I would love to prove it, but that these are going to be just as good also.
Yep.
So cool. What else you got? And there's a lot, so we might have to prioritize, or we might get to everything. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I can do this one real quick. We currently offer a line of AR-15 style pistol grips. We're going to be coming out with a new, slimmer, more modern version of our enhanced pistol grip. So it's going to be our Viper enhanced pistol grip, offered in 3 different angled configurations. So we're going to offer the same style, same look in 15 degrees, 20 degrees, and 25. So we're trying to reach out to everybody who has a different need out there for their style of shooting. So 15 degrees typically is the more modern style of shooting when you're squared facing the target. 20 is kind of just in between, like a grip that everybody's pretty much used to. And then the 25 degrees can be more similar to like an A2, people who like to shoot bladed.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing, because a lot of people will buy one pistol grip, find out it doesn't work, and then they have to buy a second pistol grip.
Yeah.
So this will allow you to actually experiment with that if you haven't tested out those different shooting angles before. Like on my SBR, I have a pretty vertical one because it's in nice and tight, so I need that angle. But on the ones where I'm going to be laying out prone or something like that, I like having a little bit of that steeper angle, or I guess more sloped angle, whatever the terminology is. And so this will give you an opportunity to test all that out without having to buy 3 different pistol grips.
Yep. So also included storage inside, rubber sealed cap. So yeah. All right, let's. A lot of people.
This is the thing that people will not stop commenting on my videos about.
I know. And we hear all of your comments too. Okay, so the Viper PDW Stabilizer. All right, guys. We can estimate this will be coming out from the time you're watching this video between 1 and 2 months. Okay, because production already started beginning of July, and trust us, we're really trying as fast as possible to get this out to you guys. We did come out with like a dozen or so samples, as you probably saw on our social media, and those needed some minor hand fitting still. So we weren't happy with those. We wanted to get a sample straight from the factory that was good to go. And we finally did recently, and I'm happy to announce that these are going to be hitting shelves quite soon. So we thank everybody for being super patient, and trust us, we read all of your comments on Facebook, Instagram, Ryan's YouTube page about when's this coming out, and we're trying as fast as possible.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about this is it retains all the good stuff about the Viper CQB stock that you guys know I really like. Tested it on a bunch of different barrel lengths just to prove that it'll work on whatever setup you have.
Yeah.
Still have the spring opening, and it's the same exact thing, just a pistol brace, so that the end user can provide their own strap to strap it to their arm, as it is intended to be used.
Yes.
And it's still very comfortable to use. And I know I was always like hesitant to use the super blade style braces, because I thought you're concentrating the pressure into a smaller area, so it might hurt. I shot it on a 5.56 yesterday, and no issue whatsoever.
Quite comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, very comfortable. So I know a lot of people are super anxious about that, and it's gonna be a good thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, real quick, I will mention this here. We have our own set of pistol buffer tubes coming out, hitting the shelves pretty soon. They're in production right now, so I think probably about a month from now. So this is actually going to complement one of our pistol stabilizers, like the more budget-friendly option. It'll be able to slide directly onto the slick buffer tube, and it's going to come with a tip set screw, so you can lock it into place.
Nice.
So, and it has a QD point at the rear of it right here too. So we try to cram as much features and functionality into a lot of our products with good purpose. So a lot of people like our PDW buffer system, and they're wondering if we're coming out with like a pistol version. So right here, you'll notice I have a shorter version than like a 7-inch carbine buffer tube. I think it's about 5 inches, and it's going to utilize the exact same buffer system as our PDW. So it's going to have the shortened buffer and the flat wire spring included with this buffer tube, not the slick one, but with the railed version and the short version. Okay, so this will come in slick and railed. So yeah, this one does have Picatinny rail and the QD, and then the other short one, the slick, is just slick all around.
Yep, and it still has the QD spot at the back.
Still has the QD spot in the back, yeah. All right, so moving down. So we're also really happy to announce that we're coming out with the Link Handstop kit right here. Gonna try to show it in the camera right there. So what's cool about this is that it's kind of like our CFG, our Link CFG that we're known for in the market, and we wanted to come out with a better modular version, not better, but like a kind of different approach to hit other parts of the market. So you can rearrange any part of this to suit your shooting style. So it's definitely modular and very lightweight, solid polymer, rigid construction, and I find it very comfortable. Yeah,
I like rigid things also. They usually are very comfortable. No, but that's a really cool thing. And M-Lock and key mod, M-Lock only.
So it utilizes our Link mounting system. So it'll work both on M-Lock and key mod.
Cool. And I can totally see this. I've been looking for a Handstop for my little MP5K clone, because when I hand it to people who aren't used to shooting those, they tend to put their hand a little forward. So this will allow you to put a big Handstop on the front if you want to use it for that instead, or use it like the SI Link, like I have on like my 300 Blackout, just as a traditional, just kind of reference point, put your hand back to the same spot every single time, and give you a lot of control.
Yeah, and we did model it after our aluminum Link CFGs, as you can probably see.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Moving down the line, this little guy right here is actually hitting the shelves quite soon, so under a month. This is our Link Angled QD. Fits both on M-Lock and key mod. It's going to be solid billet aluminum construction, and it features a 30-degree angled QD cup to mount pretty much anywhere on your M-Lock or key mod rails. So typically if I have it on the front of my rail facing me, it's a lot easier to reach and pull out or insert while I'm holding the rifle up. So that was one of the things we thought about too. So something different in the market, and better ergonomics, which I'm all for. Yeah.
I know for a lot of people, they don't like to commit to either 2-point or single-point slings. They like to do in the 2-point to single point. So a lot of times they might extend out at the beginning of the drill, and then at some point maybe want to change to a single point. And as you're saying, with the traditional just like 90 degrees in, it can be a little hard or kind of a pain. This puts it in a much easier to access spot. And it might be hard to contextualize how this works just from rolling it up. So I'm going to roll in pictures just so you guys can get the idea. But this keeps it nice, slim, and tight to the rail, but gives you a much more ergonomic angle for the sling to come back towards you, to make it easier to take off, or even just to have it streamlined into your handguard.
All right. So up next, we got our billet UDC. So Strike Industries, they're known for their polymer UDCs and different designs. One-piece construction, easy in and easy out. As you've probably seen in our SHOT Show video, when I was demonstrating how to install it, it took, like 3 seconds?
If that.
To do?
Yeah. I think we did it twice because it was so fast.
Yeah. And a lot of people then were asking, what about a metal version? What about a color version? So we're happy to announce that we're finally coming out with the color lines in the billet aluminum UDC. So it's going to feature same installation method if you're familiar with our dust covers. one piece. The rod is contained, spring-loaded detent. You just pop it right in. I pretty much just use the tip of a pen to install it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, there's not a lot of products that I say if you don't use it, you're wrong. This is one of those things. If you do any sort of AR building or anything like that and you haven't tried either the polymer or these aluminum ones, you really need to, because you don't fully appreciate how easy these things are to install until you do it yourself. And honestly, like, I recently did a 308 build series, as you guys may have seen, and I put one of their 308 polymer dust covers on, and I think a lot of people had a hard time seeing what I did because it happened so quick. So it's just makes life so much easier. If you've tried installing one of those traditional dust covers, trying to coil the spring properly and get everything aligned properly,
Yeah.
giant pain. This, literally seconds, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And if you don't like it, it comes off in seconds.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
just-
you're really doing a disservice
It's so
by
easy.
not using one of these.
Exactly. It's just, why would you not at this point?
And just before I forget to mention, we have a clear UDC in polymer. So we are thinking of coming out with an FDE and a smoke version of our clear UDCs as well.
And one thing I want to mention real quick, because I forgot to, is I'm assuming all the new ones include the adjustable detent.
Yes, they will.
So that's one really cool thing that they do, is the detent that locks it into place is adjustable, because you can buy a mil-spec receiver, but there's going to be variations in there. So I've had receivers where it's like you have to punch it to get it to lock into place, and I've had ones where it just flops open and you can't get it to lock into place.
Yeah.
With this, because it's adjustable, no matter how close to spec your receiver is, it's going to work exactly how you want it to.
Yeah, there's still chances of tolerance stacking.
Yeah.
So we thought about that, and we gave you that adjustability for the dust cover.
Awesome. Love it.
All right. And let's talk about this.
Yeah. yes.
I don't want that one. I want this one right here. All right. So hitting stores soon. I think we had a pre-order. We do have a pre-order up. Is our Nada knife. What's cool about this is that it has 10 different functions built into the knife itself. It's going to be very affordable, G10 grip style. It's going to have a serrated edge right here, stuff like a can opener and a flathead tip for screws, and seatbelt cutter as well, and a slot here to remove or install hex screws, hex head screws, depending on the size. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, I know I've seen the pre-order on these, and there's a lot of really cool features, and it comes in at a more affordable price than you might think for a knife that does that much.
Yeah.
It's pretty legit, and it's got the little flipper style opening, right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
flipper style opening right here. Really easy, really smooth, and very lightweight.
Beautiful. Love it.
Cool. Oh, this one. Look familiar?
Yes, I can tell they're slightly different. But
Yeah. So our current site options right now in the market for AR-15s are our sidewinders, and they have the ability to go 12 o'clock and then offset on your rifle just by pushing them. We decided to come out with a Sidewinder 2.0, which features a little bit more of a beefier construction. The first version was absolutely fine,
Yes.
but we're always looking to keep improving and seeing what we can do. So this is going to feature a more solid lockup and retention, more positive actuation right here, and does feature the same inline and offset.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I have a video on the original version of these, and if you've seen that video, you know that one of my critiques was that detent holding it in place, whether it be up or down. I never ran into any issues with them coming, like folding with them being up, and you know they worked just fine. I was able to hit, I think I shot at 240 yards with them. I don't remember every video I've ever done, but I was able to hit a lot further than I normally hit with iron sights. So seeing this little beefier, more positive detent, I really like.
You can even hear it too, I think.
You can,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which side my mic's on. Hopefully, it's not rubbing my beard too much.
Yeah.
But you guys will know at this point if it is. Still it's a proprietary front sight though, right? You can't switch it out with the M16 style.
No.
Okay. But again, if you are, again, just like with the pistol grip, if you don't know whether you want inline or offset because you don't know what type of optic you want to put on it, this gives you, again, the best of both worlds. So if you decide to do a red dot and you want to do co-witness, you can do that. If you want to put a magnified optic, like a 1:6 or like a 3:9 or whatever you want to put on it, and you still want iron sights, you can have them offset and you don't have to worry about pulling your optic off. So, and even with traditional co-witness, this might be something you want to consider. Let's say you're in a muddy environment or your glass breaks or it fogs up and you can't even see through your tube anymore. To use the co-witness, if you have it in line, if you have them offset and you've zeroed them offset, now no matter what happens on top of your gun, it's still going to be a nice clear sight picture offset for you as well.
Yeah.
So there's that pitch for you.
All right. Moving down the line, we are providing a new version of our enhanced castle nut and end plate here. So pretty much it's like the current design, but we've added QD cups to either side of the end plate, here and here. So the current version just has it at the rear. We wanted to offer users more modularity by having it at the sides as well. And it's going to feature now a set screw method of locking the castle nut into place. The set screw is going to go throughout a channel built into the castle nut itself all the way through, so it won't be able to back out. So you're not going to have to stake it if you don't want something more permanent and if you don't want to damage anything. So we like to give users that option.
One of the things that I like about having the option to do it to the side now versus just coming out the back is I haven't really talked about it a lot on my channel, but I do have the video coming soon of the SARS system from you guys. And this pretty much, I have found that my favorite place to put the little sling mount is pretty much right around where the castle nut is on the side.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I don't love having it on the top rail, so I like the idea of having a spot for me to put that little adapter rod, whatever you want to call it, to attach into the SARS. But again, I'm going to be doing a lot more about that soon. I've been testing it for a long time now. I just really wanted to solidify my opinions on it. It's coming soon, but this would work very, very well with it.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So that's something we had in mind when we decided to update this. So what is it? That ball attaching mechanism is going to attach to the QD mount right here at the side, and it's going to be more ergonomic and easier to get to once he mounts it on his SARS retention system. So like you said, he'll have it at the side, have it on the rifle, and he can just slide it right in. Easy. And yeah, a lot of people, me included, I don't really like to mount stuff like that onto the rail. I'd prefer it on like the end plate as well.
Yeah. So I like seeing that.
All right. So here, we've got some cool things here. So we have a current concussion reduction device out in the market right now. Our Suppressor works with pretty much Strike Industries and the Furfron's muzzle brake. You just have to have that 4-lug pattern. What this is now is a gas trap comp. Yeah.
Okay. So a gas trap comp. So what does that mean to the layperson?
All right. So people who are experiencing some cycling issues with their platform, they need a little bit more back pressure and gas flow into their system for better reliability in cycling, would definitely be interested in something like this. So by having a removable end cap, I'm not gonna do it to this one, but I'll do it to that one. So removable end cap, this one's locked with a spring and I don't have the tool with me. You'll be able to put different inserts, different baffles that'll help aid in more reliable cycling and gas flow into your system as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if I can really quick, I'm going to try to grab one of these. So sorry, video cut out. We ran out of time there. Can only record for 29 minutes, which tells me this video is going way too long. But it is what it is. So the way these attach, it just slides over any of the compatible muzzle devices. You rotate it into place, tighten up down this top part, and that's not going anywhere.
It's solid.
It's solid, and this is going to be a very similar attachment method to something else, which we might get to here momentarily. But before we get to that, anything else you wanted to say about these gas trap comps?
No, not really.
Okay.
No. Just expect it to be very affordable to the market out there compared to the competition.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time for this one. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Let me slide this your way there. So, as you guys probably noticed, we are going to be coming out with our own line of suppressors pretty soon. So this is going to feature the same attachment method as our oppressor and gas trap comp. All I have to do is just loosen it, a little tight from the range day, loosen the top end, rotate the bottom end, and it should just slide out just like that. So again, only compatible with Strike Industries type muzzle devices. And I think you shot it yesterday, right?
I did.
How'd that go?
So I saw this for the first time at SHOT Show 2 years ago, and it piqued my interest because I love the attachment method. Shot it yesterday, and you guys had these attached all day, I'm assuming. I got there pretty early in the day. These things got really hot. They got shot a bunch. I have to say, the tone sounded really good. Now, I think I was shooting, this is a 7.62 can, or I believe the one that I was shooting was a 7.62 can.
Yeah, 30 cal, yeah.
On a 5.56,
Yeah.
still sounded great, still had good suppression. Obviously, you're still dealing with that supersonic bullet with the 5.56, but it's very effective. And for like how big this one looks, it really doesn't feel like it doesn't weigh as much as you would think it would.
Still pretty balanced, I would say.
It still feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And again, the attachment method is really, really hard to beat. It's a very, very solid lockup. With like bi-lug or tri-lug mounts, sometimes you still get a little wiggle room, which I understandably makes some people feel a little bit worried about baffle strikes.
Yeah.
This thing is rock solid, very, very easy to deal with.
Oh yeah. Cool. So moving to the rear end here, we have our basic pistol stabilizer. That's going to be hitting the shelves fairly the same time as our Viper PDW stabilizer. So this is going to work on buffer tubes.
Stay in front of the camera.
So this is going to work on buffer tubes with a outer diameter of about 1.25 inches. So it's going to feature a set screw retention method and ambidextrous QD cups, and it's pretty much ATF approved and good to go. And it's going to be very affordable. I think it's going to be 40, 45.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang. There's another company that's here today that charges a lot more for their braces, but we don't name any names.
Yep. All right.
The crazy thing is, we really only scratched the surface. We didn't talk about the hand guards at all. We didn't talk about the charging handles at all. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't even cover, and this video is already pretty dang long. So
yeah.
Again, these guys, it never ceases to amaze me every time I come to a show, even though it's only been 6 months since SHOT Show. They already have a ton of new stuff. So it's really cool to see what they're doing. You guys know I've tested a lot of their stuff. I give you my honest opinions, and I just really appreciate that Strike Industries is not one of those companies that is okay with the status quo. They're always pushing to innovate in different areas, and it's just really cool to see the kind of stuff they're coming up with in very, very affordable price ranges and in very usable packages, like these super easy to install comps for Glocks, the sights, the dust covers, the muzzle devices. It's all just really, really good stuff. So I'm, again, very happy to see that. Anything else you want to add?
No, I wish we had more time, and I think you might want to start considering like a part 1, part 2 Strike Industries videos.
I might have to start doing that
with the amount of stuff we're churning out.
Exactly.
But I had to pick and choose. I just thought I'd show you guys everything that was definitely different and new since SHOT Show, and that's a short amount of time. And for a company like us to have new products like this coming out every month, as opposed to some certain companies that come out with maybe 1 or 2 things a year.
If that.
That's what I love about Strike Industries.
So if people want to stay on top of new releases or new product announcements, where can they go?
Definitely our Facebook page. We announce all of our updates on projects, products, release dates, and that's where we listen to a lot of our fan base of what they want to see next. So we do read all of the comments on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and that helps us out tremendously.
Yeah, so again, really, really good stuff. Check them out on their social media pages. You guys have like a red camera to make some really cool videos. You guys got one of the Ronin stabilizers. So they put out a lot of good stuff. You can follow them on their YouTube channel where they do really beautiful promo stuff. And then their website and their other social media pages just to see all this really cool stuff as it's coming out, including those little tiny miniaturized pistol, like AR pistols. But Again, I'll just reference you to their social media so you can see that for yourself. Just tease it out there like that. So,
Yeah.
Albert, thank you very much for your time.
Always good having you
As always,
here.
a pleasure. And you guys are going to see a lot of this stuff over on my channel for the foreseeable future for sure. So, as always, we're going to be doing a lot more coverage here from TriggrCon, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.